Hello from my hammock again here in Costa Rica. Today I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about dealing with unexpected situations, which probably happens a lot, and the way we deal with them can definitely tell us a lot about our thoughts and how we're dealing with our lives. And so today I have some steps and tips on how to deal with them. And I'll share like a little personal example. A lot of my videos are just really things that are going on in my own life and things that I'm dealing with. So then I'm kind of taking the time to actually reflect and look at what I do and how that process works. So, unexpected situations. You know, one thing that you definitely learn about life is that we really can't control anything. Like the only thing that we have under our control is our thoughts, our emotions, how we react to things, our actions. And that's about all we have under control is just ourselves. But sometimes we can feel pretty out of control, especially when unexpected situations come up. So it's kind of like, okay, how do we get at least control of the part that we can control, which is ourselves? So I'll run through the steps. I got my little book because I did some reflecting on this. So usually when I'm dealing with something that comes up, I like to take notice of, okay, like what are my thoughts right now? So, just being aware, what are my thoughts? What are my thoughts about the situation? And I'll share a little bit about that through the example. I'll take you through these steps, but with the example that I'm going through right now. And how are these thoughts making me feel? So what are my feelings? No, sorry, cat, no, now is not the time. Okay. Okay, so how are these thoughts making me feel? And then the next thing I like to evaluate, okay, what do I have in my control? Which I noted, the only things I can really ever list that are in my control are my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my reactions. So that's really the only things that we have in our control. It's just ourselves. And then I like to go inwards, which is my favorite thing to do. My cat's me. So then I like to go inwards, which is about the only thing that really kind of helps me resolve things and figure out really what's going on, is I want to see what my higher self has to say about it. So what does my higher self think and feel about this? Because sometimes when we're dealing with tough emotions, it's because we're not in alignment with how our higher self is feeling about the situation or what's actually going on. So the best way to kind of feel better about a situation is to consult with our higher selves and get to see what it's feeling about it, and then how can we get to those feelings that our higher self is feeling, because it is a part of us. So we got one part of us that's maybe having fear, anxiety, these different thoughts, and our higher self is hanging up here like, hey, everything's okay, this is what I think about it, and we just need to okay, let's slowly align ourselves to what our higher self is feeling about the situation. So then once I figured out what my higher self is thinking and feeling about it, the authentic self, I like to think about what better thoughts I can choose. So the first thoughts that I kind of evaluated were the ones that were coming to my head. So maybe the ones that were more out of fear, out of anxiety, maybe if it's a situation that can affect the future. So I like to think about, okay, what are the better thoughts that I can choose? Like, where do I want to put my energy in this situation? How do I want to look at it? So how can I choose better thoughts that align more with what my higher self is thinking about the situation? And then the last thing is I go, okay, well, what can I actually do now given this higher knowledge? So now that we've identified what our mind is thinking about it, we figure out that we only have control over ourselves. So that's where we need to center our focus right now in the situation, not trying to control the situation, but okay, let's take control out of ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions. And then figuring out what our higher self thinks about it. And then our better thoughts to align with that higher self, which our better thoughts are going to influence our emotions. So our emotions are going to get more in alignment with what our higher self is feeling about it too. And which means we're going to be feeling a little bit better. And then, so then the actions that come out of that are, what are our inspired actions. So really the actions that we can use to deal with our situation from the right place. Not from a place of fear or anxiety or control, but in a place of I'm just going to have control over myself, and what actions can I take in that step. So like just how I want to apply this. So a little background. So I have a roommate who's supposed to move in on August 10th. That's coming up in like a little bit more than a week. And then I leave, so today's August 2nd. I leave back to the United States I leave the evening August 15th. So that's like 15 days away. And I've planned for this girl to move in. And I already have another friend living here right now, but she's moving out on the 7th. So yeah, we planned to move in. She even stayed for a week. It went super well. She's awesome. Like, it's really cool. Like, I'm so excited to live with her. So yesterday she sent me a message. Sounds like some of her plans changed due to employment that she had here. It's right now, like, it's up in the air. She doesn't know if she's going to be coming anymore, or if she's going to be here, if she's not. So I took the time to really evaluate. Okay, like, I was like, okay, like, I'm having some thoughts about this. Definitely, like, no anger towards her. Like, this is totally out of her control, and, you know, like, that's okay. Like, life happens and life changes, and that's totally fine. But of course I had some uneasy thoughts. My thoughts were like, oh, well, so I'm leaving. This person was going to take care of my animals while I was gone in the house, and, you know, pay part of the rent. So there's those thoughts of like, okay, well, like, how are my animals going to get taken care of? Like, how's that part of the rent going to get paid? Like, you know, how's this going to work? So my feelings, so those are my thoughts. My feelings, it was giving me a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of fear. I'm thinking about the future. It's feeling uncertain. It's feeling uncomfortable. So I kind of identified those. And I looked at like, okay, well, what is actually in my control? I really can't control her situation and what's going on with her employment. Yeah, there's really nothing that I can control other than my reaction. So my reaction to her was, of course, like, open, loving. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just keep me updated. Like, it's all going to be good. I do have, like, even throughout the anxiety and fear, like, I do have trust. I'm like, okay, like, still got to trust. Trust in the process. I'm in good vibes. Like, still just, it's going to be okay. Like, my higher self is like, it's going to be okay. It's going to work out. But there's still some of that fear hanging around. And so, yeah, once I realized what I can control, which is my own thoughts and emotions, I'm like, okay, well, what does my inner being think about it? So I close my eyes, I get quiet. I just try to tune into that inner peace and see, like, what it has to say. And it's pretty much just told me, like, you're in good vibration. It always works out. Just keep trusting. Like, these things happen for a reason. And sometimes we just don't know the reason. And we just got to let it play out. So, you know, the anxiety and the fear, that's not going to help it play out in a good way. Either, no matter what, it's going to play out the way it will. It's going to go on the way it is. So I don't want to add more anxiety and fear onto that. And you know, I can't control it. And yeah, so the actions. So my next step will just take actions if necessary. I'm just going to wait and hear back from her. And if it turns out she's not coming, then I'm going to trust and look for a new roommate and put good energy that it's going to be a good fit, or think of some other creative solution. You know, if I can stay in that good space, if I'm not in a space of fear, if I'm in a space of fear and anxiety, I'm going to be blocked from thinking and being open to the new, different possibilities and the good that could come out of it. So the best thing we can do is try to focus our attention on the positive parts, you know, okay, like, what can we do here what can be good about this? It's going to rain here in a little bit, so I'm going to wrap up. So yeah, where we're at is my action phase. Stay trusting. My inner intuition saying, stay knowing that everything's going to be okay. And then take the actions based off of that. And just know that it's going to be all right. And I'll definitely keep you updated on how it plays out. But it's going to be I'm just going to expect good out of it. And sometimes, you know, when unexpected circumstances come up, we just have to try to expect the good, and we're going to see more of the good. You know, if we expect the good, then we're open to the new possibilities that could be coming in due to a unexpected situation. You know, maybe it's not always bad. You know, I've had things that have happened in the past that weren't fun. Like, I broke my collarbone horseback riding when I was in college, and it hurt a lot for weeks, and some other stuff happened after that, but it actually changed my whole life in such a weird, cool way. I ended up moving to another home. I don't even know. I don't even think maybe I wouldn't even be in Costa Rica if I hadn't broken my collarbone. It's so strange, but just, you know, sometimes these things happen. We just have to trust in the process. which I know can feel like super hard whenever we're in it, we're freaking out about a situation. That's why it's really important to use these steps to identify like what your thoughts are, what your feelings are. The thoughts are probably creating more fear and anxiety, and so you're not going to be able to solve or see the good in anything in that space. So you really do need to consult with your inner fountain of knowledge, your authentic self, whatever you want to call it. You can sit there and consult with that, and it can get you into a better vibration so that you can see the positives, so that you are open to the positive things that are coming out of whatever unexpected situation has come your way. Because that's just a part of life. It's gonna, life is always shaking things up, and we just gotta try and roll with it the best we can. And yeah, that is it. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this video. There's more. And yeah, I have an Instagram that I post stories on, just like our kind of day-to-day stuff that we're up to. And yeah, and then I have a website. I'm offering life coaching services. It's like my passion. I love doing this stuff. And I actually need to make a video about that too, to talk about the services. So if you're interested, go check it out. And if you'd like to work together, that would be awesome. If it's a good fit, it's something I can help with. The website is called lasarahelena.com, and you can see it in the description below. Have a wonderful day.